So today we're going to talk a little bit about the 5-tap beginners tubing kit. We are unboxing the kit right now, so we are going to look at what comes in the kit. So in this particular kit, we are going to have 100 feet of 5/16 blue food grade tubing. We will have 4 tees. We will have 2 end of line hooks, and we will have our 5 individual taps. So the first thing that you will do once you have your material unpackaged is you will go through and you will need to cut 5 sections of tubing off the 100-foot roll that are 3 foot in length. These will be used as the drop lines from your tubing taps down to your 5/16 line. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we have our 5 pieces of 36-inch tubing cut. We are going to start the assembly process. So each one of these particular lines will get a clear tap put on the end. So to put the tap on, basically what we're going to do is we're just going to put it up to the tubing. And if we just wiggle it like this, we're going to push the tubing tap onto the fitting. And then one of these lines, of the 3-foot lines, we're going to put a tap on one end, and then we are going to put an end of line hook on the other end. Now, when installing the drop line onto this particular end of line hook, we want to make sure the hook is facing this direction as you see in the video. And then what we're going to do is we're going to apply our hose onto this barb. So we'll get that on here. So that when we're installed, our hose is on this direction and our hook is facing here. So we made our end of line hook adapter for the end of our line. Now we are going to install the rest of our 5/16 taps on our lines. So that configuration will be just as we did before. Slide the 5/16 tap onto the tubing line. And this particular, these 4 that are left will have a T-fitting installed on them. So this will be our T-fitting, and we are going to insert our hose on the top T. So we're just going to put that down, and we're just going to press that hose onto that T so that our hose is facing to the top. Okay, so what we did before we roll our 100-foot roll of tubing out, we took the one drop line that was made with the end of line hook, and we attached that drop line with the end of line hook onto our 100-foot roll. So now what we're going to do is we're going to walk through the woods. Kellen's going to stand here and help me spool this off. So what we're going to do is we have 4 trees selected. We're going to have 5 taps on them. So we're just going to kind of zigzag our way through the woods. And when we get to the last tree, we're going to wrap the tubing all the way around the tree. And we are going to hook the hook back onto the 5/16 tubing. So what we're going to do now is we're going to start to pull tension back on the tubing and set it to grade. So we're just going to pull our tubing tight as we go from tree to tree. And then this will be our last tree. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tubing, we're going to bring it around our tree. And then what we're going to do is we will cut off our tubing. We will take the end of line hook that was supplied in the kit. Once again, we want our hook to be facing our tubing, so it's going to go on like this. So we will put on our fitting. We'll wiggle that on there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to clip that onto our 5/16 line to hold it tight. We will take a small piece of 5/16 hose down and we will put it into our collection tank. So we will cut off a piece of 5/16, basically attach it to our fitting, and then we're going to route that hose down into our tank so that our sap can run out of our tubing system down into our tank. So the next thing you can do is you have your line up and in place, you've got it tensioned off. What you can do now is you can take a Sharpie and you can mark the 5/16 line of where you want to cut in your drop lines for your tees. And what you can do is you can unhook your end of line hooks, take the tension off your line, and you can install your tees. So for this example, I'm going to have a couple of fellas just hold it for me rather than taking the lines down. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut the line. We're going to wiggle on our tee fitting. And we are back tight. So that's what it's going to look like. And then this will be your drop line, which will allow you to tap just about any area on that tree. And you can store your tap in this cup when it is not in use.